Hi, guys. So we continue today on our business success growth series. This should be part 3. We've done part 1, where we did the overview of business growth and we talked about successful growth and the growing success. We did a bit of goal setting in the part 1 of that. And then we have the part 2, where we talked a bit more on the concept of business, right? In this part 3, we'll be talking deeper in the concept of success. And hopefully, we try to wrap up this series in this episode. If we're not able to do so, then we'll continue in the next episode. So on this episode on the business growth series, or the business success growth series, or the successful business growth series, we will be talking on success. And the first thing to note is that success is not necessarily big. In the perception of many people, success finds definition in size. So a thing is as successful as it is big. The bigger it is, the more we assume that it is successful. Sometimes we even measure success by time. The longer it has stayed, because a man has been married for 50 years, we think he has a successful home. You see that now? So success many times in our time is measured by size, in some cases measured by time, in other cases measured by volume, and not volume in mass, volume in sound. So it's like the louder you are, the more we assume you are very successful. The more visible you are, the more we think that you are successful. So I want to clear those two misconceptions, that success is not essentially big and success is not essentially loud. So because a thing is loud, a person is loud, a business is loud, a venture is loud, an investment is loud, because you have 1 million views online doesn't make your venture successful. The fact that you have a big business doesn't make the business successful. Size is not an expression of success. What is successful may become big, but that it is big does not mean it is successful. In fact, whatever is successful, we hope that it becomes big. Right? Yeah, it's a desire. It's a good thing to have a thing that is successful become bigger. Why would you want something that is striving to become smaller? Nobody wants that. It could be your family, it could be your school, it could be your business, whatever it is. If it's doing well, we want it bigger. But that is bigger does not mean it's doing well. That's the point I'm making here. So success is not necessarily big, and success is not necessarily loud. The loud factor for me is critical, especially in a generation that determines impact by social media presence. So because you're everywhere online, almost everyone thinks that you are right or you are successful. Because you are famous, because you are known, people just assume that you have everything working in your favor. There are many people who are known, who are very popular, who are very big, who are constantly at the verge of destruction. Constantly. And they are literally in a survival mode at every point in their lives. But we see them from the outside and we think they are very successful. You know, and we see people, couples, put in all their perfect pictures online and we think that they are successful because they're the ones showing us the desired picture of their home. We think that our own that is not being shown, we are not doing as well as them who are showing theirs. But loudness doesn't equal success. A thing can be loud and empty. Is that okay? Success By definition, my definition for success across the years, I have fundamentally two definitions, and I will share them here. Success number one is attaining a desired goal. Bear in mind that we began this series by saying that the goal of every business is to have a successful growth. Nobody wants to invest themselves into something that is not growing. So every business as well, there is a goal to every business. And we are saying that even in success, there is a texture of growth. Goal, I beg your pardon, in success. So success is achieving or attaining a desired goal within a reasonable time that aligns you with purpose. Success is attaining a desired goal. First thing here is desired. Second thing here is goal. Who is writing? Third thing here is that goal is attained within a reasonable time. So the third thing here is reasonable time that aligns you with purpose. So the fourth thing is purpose. So we have the desire, we have the goal, we have the reasonable time, and then we have the purpose. So to really say you are successful, you are attaining a desired goal. And that desire for me is critical because many times we are attaining goals, but the goals we are attaining are not essentially desired goals. The goals that we are trying to attain are influenced goals. Is that making sense to you? Other goals are suggested goals. Some goals are even copied goals. Because I've seen my friend do this, I want to do it. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being inspired by the achievements of your friend or by a person that you respect, that you love, that is a model. So you can be inspired. And there's nothing wrong with copying what is working. But in doing so, you must find a way to personalize that goal. If you can't find a connection to the goal to the degree to which you can personalize the goal, then it's not a desired goal. Is that making sense to you? And you don't want to commit your life to just a goal you are copying, because what happens when you find a million goals you want to copy? How do you now begin to filter those goals to determine the ones that work in your life and the ones that don't work in your life? And you can't take for granted the way you feel about a thing. I will do that maybe much later in the series about how to respond to feelings. Feelings are very dangerous currencies. And I use the word dangerous because they are currencies that are required, but they are very tricky in application. But many things that you do in life, you must still listen to the voice of your feeling. Even when you are talking about your alignment with God, many times God will prompt you by what you are feeling. So you start feeling a sudden nudge to pray. You just feel like praying. You just feel like praying. That thing you are saying that I just kept feeling like I want to pray is just God telling you you need to pray. It's God's voice that is finding expression through your feelings. So however fragile feelings are, they are still a very sensitive stream through which God still speaks. You want to travel, then you have this funny feeling not to travel. Don't travel today. Don't travel today. Don't travel. It's a funny feeling. You don't get the feeling why. You're just feeling sad. You want to enter the car. You are feeling sad. That feeling is a voice. So what I'm saying to you is that desire is one of the expressions of feelings. And it's one of those expressions that you need to find a way to culture. And once you culture it, you must respect it. The reason why desires should be cultured is that not every desire should be getting your attention. That you have a desire for a thing does not make it right. But if you have invested in culturing that desire, then you must respect the desire that you now have. And one of the ways to personalize the goal is to have that innate drive towards the goal. So I may see that my friend A is doing fashion. I'm inspired by it. I want to try it, but I'm not driven by it. Friend B is into media. I'm inspired by it. I love it, but I'm not driven by it. Are you saying that now? And then maybe another friend of mine is into coding. I'm inspired by it. I also want it, but I'm driven by it. Now I can say that's a desired goal. So there's something about the way I feel about the goal, even if it's inspired by somebody else, that is personalized to me. So when you pursue a goal that is personalized to you, something that you connect with. I have friends who are doing very well in many fields. And many of them, I wish I could do what they are doing, but I don't feel that connection with it. So it doesn't form into a goal for me. At least it doesn't form into a desired goal for me. And to have a life that you can say is successful, it must be a life that is committed to something that you love to do, that is not far from purpose. And I've taught us before, which we will do again, how to follow what you love. Because one of the ways to follow what you love might be to do what you hate. Sometimes the only way to arrive at what you love is that you must first do the things you hate. You do the job that you hate. You work for a boss that you hate to be able to make enough to pursue the dream that you love. So success is achieving a desired goal. We have talked about goal. So let me go into reasonable time. Okay, no, let's follow the sequence of this note. Let's follow the sequence of this note. So I said here, on goal again, I said, you can succeed at any goal. Johnny. But not every goal makes you a success. You can achieve, and we talked about that in the first episode, where we said that there are those people that may never miss their aim, but they always aim at the wrong thing. They never miss the aim, but the problem is that they always aim at the wrong thing. In the same way, you can succeed at any goal, but not any goal and not every goal makes you a success. So that's why we need to categorize the kind of goal that is worthy of achieving. And I'm saying that one of the things that should culture that goal is that it should be a desired goal. You can't be a medical doctor because your father wants you to be a medical doctor alone. You can't be an architect only because your mother wants you to be an architect. You must find a way to really search your heart and personalize that goal to a degree that your desires can be committed to it. Because it's that commitment that you have to your goal that makes you weather the storms. Because it's something that latches you to that goal by the commitment of desire. Does that make sense? Let's talk about reasonable time. Reasonable time is very important. Now, imagine for a second, I give this example and I want to share here. Imagine for a second that you buy your first car, or a man buys his first car at 75. Mike, a man who buys his first car at 75 should not post it on Instagram. You bought your first car. Now, let me break it down a little bit to some ancestral backgrounds. Let's even assume that in your entire family, you are the first to buy a car. Nobody in your family line, in your lineage, from the third to fourth generation before you, has ever bought a car. You are the first to buy a car. But you bought that car at 75. My advice to you, without any offense, is please don't post it on Instagram. You know why? It's because even though what you have achieved is admirable, and what you achieved is novel to where you're coming from, you achieved it in a time that is not reasonable. People normally buy cars before 75. There are certain things you can do at 75 that you should celebrate. Buying car is not one of them. You see my point? There are certain goals that have a clock to them. That's what I'm saying to you. For certain things to become a success, there is a clock to it. That we can describe as reasonable time. And the clock to those things, many times, it's not just about it being too long. It can be too short. The same way it is unreasonable for a woman to expect to give birth after 3 months. That is unreasonable time. So setting goals, if you see a guy achieve some kind of success too fast, that also should give you worry. The same way you get worried when a person achieves certain goals too late. So if an 8-year boy comes and says, "Mommy, I just bought my first car," won't you be worried at 8 years? Many things will make you worry. Number one is, where did you get the money from? Number two, how did you go to meet a dealer for at 8 years? Since when did you begin to talk? So many things about that context will give a mother major sleepless nights. You know why? Because that success came with unreasonable timing. The same way that when a man achieves a thing or a woman achieves a thing too late in life is a good thing, but you can't categorize it as success. Let me give you another example. Imagine we have two friends, and they have a desired goal. Hear this carefully. They both have a desired goal that aligns them to purpose. So that's established. The goals that both of them have. First person A, second person B. So A and B have two different goals. Their goals aligns them to purpose. That is established. However, A was meant to achieve the goal, and the goal is to buy a bike. So buying a bike aligns him with purpose. And he needs to buy that bike within 2 years. What did I say? He needs to buy a bike within 2 years. The other person has a desired goal that aligns them with purpose. And that person's goal is to buy a car. And that car is meant to be bought within 3 years. So the first person is to buy a bike in 2 years. Second one is to buy a car in 3 years. In both cases, they will be aligned with purpose. The guy who buys his bike within 2 years and the man who buys the car within 7 years, who is successful? The guy that buys the bike. But many of you will think that the guy who buys the car is more successful. I'll give you another scenario. What if the guy who's meant to buy the car was designed to buy that car within 1 year? And the guy who was meant to buy the bike was meant to buy the bike within 2 years. So the car guy is meant to buy a car within 1 year. The bike guy is meant to buy his bike within 2 years. What if the guy for the bike buys his car within 1 year, and the guy for the car buys his car within 2 years? You will still think that the guy with the car is more successful, even though he's 1 year behind schedule. The guy with the bike bought his own bike 1 year ahead of schedule. So in the real sense, the guy on the bike is more successful in his rights than the guy with the bike. But because you and I measure success by size, the moment we see the car, we think the guy with the car is more successful. And many times, God has positioned us to achieve many bikes for which we have achieved, but we are still feeling like we are failures because we have not bought the cars. But the thing that aligns you with purpose within a reasonable time is achieving the bike for which you have achieved. But you are feeling like a failure. You feel like a failure only because you are not yet driving a car. The design for you is to get married at 25. And because your friend married at 24, you are now feeling like you are too old for marriage. Meanwhile, by design, your real time when you'll be ready for marriage is 27. But you're not judging your marital bliss because a friend married at 24. You are designed to have a happier home if you wait till 27. Are you seeing that now? So reasonable time for me is very critical. Reasonable time can be too late. Reasonable time can be too fast. But we must capture for our goals and our purpose what timing is reasonable. Many things that we are calling delays are not delays. They are actually part of reasonable time. The breakthrough that you are praying for, if God gave it to you at the time you prayed for it, that breakthrough can destroy you. Because the timing was not yet reasonable. Yes. So to every desired goal that aligns you with purpose, there's usually a reasonable time. And for you to understand that, you come to understand that purpose is usually essence over substance. I say it all the time. Every purpose that has any form of merit is always essence over substance, even if there is substance to show for the purpose. But what you check to analyze is the essence, is the meaning. Yes. Now, I know that in our churches and in many of the things that we hear and we learn and we teach, there's a lot of complexities around the concept of purpose. And it's like it's almost a mystery. It's like it's a mystery to know what our purposes are. Am I correct? It's like a mystery. Like they say, what's your purpose? I'm like, I don't know. I've been praying for the past 15 years for the Lord to uncover my purpose to me. And I don't think God is that wicked. I mean, he established the purpose before he did a manufacturing. It can be so counterproductive to hide the purpose from you when he established a purpose before you were made. He didn't try to figure out, this person I've made, what can I even do with this person? No. The way Apeh is now, what can I do with Apeh? Oh. No, that was decided before I was born. And do you think that as a master investor that God is, he will create me for a purpose and conceal the purpose from me? Then why did he send me here? Because he sent me here in time, which means that I'm not here forever. I'm here for a period. So it's in his best interest that I discover my purpose early. And purpose discovering is not a mystery, it's not a myth. So I said here that you can uncover your purpose by your passion. That's one way. And when you think about passion, think about two things. Number one is excitement. Number two is anger. Sometimes your passion is expressed by what excites you. Other times, your passion is expressed by what angers you. So many of us are too driven towards what excites us. Meanwhile, God is trying to show you your purpose through what angers you. When you see a girl that is being abused, you get angry. That could be your purpose. When you see a child malnourished, you get very angry. That could be your purpose. When you see a person that is sick, that gets you very upset. That could be your purpose. When you see a person with bad odor, you get very irritated. That could be, I see what I'm saying now. So sometimes your passion is expressed through what excites you, and other times your passion is expressed through what angers you, what offends you. There are certain things that I do today that are driven by something that offended me. The whole idea of beginning a hotel wasn't because I wanted to have a hotel, but I was doing a project in the city for about 8 months, and I could barely get a good hotel to stay for 8 months. I was paying, but I was not getting value. And then out of that anger, I knew that I have to do a hotel. So I found purpose in anger. That's what I'm saying to you. And other people will find purpose in excitement. I just love to sew. Even if they don't pay me, I just love to make clothes. That could be your purpose. So passion is a way to find purpose. But I'm just trying to say that don't just yield to the excitement of passion, also listen to the anger of passion. Number 2 is problems is a way to uncover purpose. The problem that you see easily. Yes. Because I could come into a room and what I see, you will never see. The reason why I see that problem is because I have a purpose in that problem to solve. Many times you see problems for which you are equipped to solve, for which you have been created to solve. So problems that you are wired to solve is a way to find purpose. Okay? We have established that not every time is reasonable. Life is in seasons. I can't go into the seasons of life. I did a teaching a while back on seasons and places. So go and for that video and watch it. But I did a lot of discussion on seasons. And one of the things I said is that God is so committed to seasons that he created seasons every day. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Do you understand? He's not tired of seasons. As in, he puts seasons into every day. So every day, in the same way you have winter, summer, and autumn in a year, he put the same kind of season in every day. There is morning, afternoon, evening. There is day and there's night. Daily. So God is a respecter of seasons. And you know that seasons also regulate necessities. So you don't need a torchlight in the day, but you require it at night. So the need for that torchlight was engineered by that season. We don't carry umbrellas in December because we don't have rains in December in Nigeria. Rainy season is only when we require umbrellas. Am I correct? So there are certain things that are needed and are essential only because of the understanding of the season. And in your life, many necessities are defined by seasons. So you need to know that we share different seasons. Seasons are typical to people in very generic sense. You may be in your rainy season, I may be in my dry season. So that you are carrying an umbrella in the season you are in does not mean I need an umbrella. Sit down. I'm in a dry season, so I need singlets. I'm feeling hot, you are feeling cold. I can't judge my life by the season you are in. But I must respect the understanding of seasons in my life because God is a seasonal God. He does things by seasons. He honors seasons. Seed time and harvest time, they never cease because God respects seasons. You may be in your seed time, I may be in my harvest time, but we are all in seasons. All right, so first definition, let me recap that now. Success is attaining or achieving a desired goal within a reasonable time that aligns you with purpose. And it's important to find purpose. Many of us will just wander around regardless of our purpose. And I'll say this not to sound religious, but one of the best ways to find purpose is to find God. Because you are made in God's likeness, you are made within the context of God. And if you have not found God, it's hard to find the essence for your creation. You see that now? Yes. Because the default purpose of your life is to pleasure God. The default purpose of every life is to pleasure God. And many times, you can't do that until you are first in God and you have found God even while you are in God. And then when you find God, you now find yourself. Because that's where you truly are. When you find yourself, you will stumble into purpose naturally. All right? Yeah. So let me give you another definition of success. Success is progress with the right speed. Progress with the right speed. And I think that this is important because we are a moving generation. We like to move. We like to move. And you can't blame that because moving is built into our nature. We survive by movement. Everything that we are, we'll do teachings on that later, about the concept of movement. But we are moving people. We are moving being. We are moving creatures. But movement does not guarantee progress. However, progress requires movement. To make progress, you must move, but that you are moving doesn't mean you're making progress. So success is progress, not movement. Is that making sense to you? It's like talking about change, which we will, maybe in the next episode. Growth is a type of change, but not every change results in growth. In the same way, progress is a kind of movement, but not every movement equals progress. Success is making progress. I define here that progress is simply movement in the right direction. And a good example of that, is a car race. So imagine for a second with me that we are in a car race. So I'm in a car. What car? Pick a car, any car. This guy. I'm in B2. You know B2? Yeah. B2. You know that old B2? I'm in B2. Do you know B2? Oh, you don't know B2, man? You are Gen Z. So let's assume that I'm in a B2. That one. And they say I have good pusher. B2, that one that goes like this. Let me break it down to Nigerian context. Let's say I'm in Keke Apeh. It's a car race, but I came with Keke Apeh. And guess the car I want to race with? A Ferrari. So I'm here in my Keke Apeh. As in, I bought full tank. So imagine for a second that the organizer of the sports now does the go sign. On your mark. Get set and then go. Now, this is what happens. The moment they gave the go sign, this is what happens. I'm in my keke, then my good friend, Mike, is in Ferrari. Because he's a gala boy. So they gave the go sign and instantly, now, where you guys are is the finish line. That's the finish line. 2 miles away, finish line. And when we were giving the go sign, I was driving towards the finish line, but Mike was driving the opposite direction. I was going 20 kilometers per hour. Mike was going 200 kilometers per hour. 10 times my speed. Who will win the race? What's the difference? Speed? Luxury? Cost of vehicle? Prestige of vehicle? What's the difference? Direction. The only difference, even though he had 10 times my speed, I was moving in the right direction. And I promise you, many lives we see on Instagram are Ferraris driving in the wrong direction. They have the speed, they have the momentum, they have the prestige, they have the look. The only thing is that they are on the wrong lane, driving in the wrong direction. They found the guy, muscle, six-pack, but the only problem is that marriage is driving in the opposite direction. They are in the best school on earth. It's a Russell school. Is that what they call it? Yes. It's highest pedigree. But they are in the wrong field. Are you following me now? So, to define true success, it must be within the context of progress. And one of the strong factors of progress is direction. Is movement in the right direction. In your career, movement in the right direction. In your marriage, movement in the right direction. It may be slow, but please be on the right direction. And you can be fast, but still be on the right direction. So I said here that progress is movement with the right direction. And the definition is success is progress with the right speed. So two keywords here. One is progress. The other is right speed. And the reason why the speed for me is critical to discuss is, in science we discuss speed as distance covered in time. Am I correct? Who's the science student here? But speed is defined as distance covered in time. Now I wrote a line here which I will close this with, which is speed is not necessarily fast. And you know that whenever we talk about speed, it almost feels like we are referring to fast. Even when there is a prophecy or there is instruction, say, you shall find speed. And we think that speed is fast. No. The actual definition of speed is covering distance within a specific time. See, we're back to time again. So, on our highway, you have speed limits. Oh my God. So the road you are on determines the speed you are allowed to drive. I'm not following this thing. Even when you're on the right track, the road that you are on, that's what we call, even in life, there's speed limits now, sir. Sometimes you won't come to a part in life that will have traffic lights. You have to stop. That stopping does not mean that you're not making progress. You are making progress. In fact, stopping in that moment is saving your life. Because the laws of the road on which you are traveling requires that red light means you must stop for other cars to pass, then you can now pass. Because if you refuse to obey that red light, you might stir up an accident. And you may end up not arriving anywhere anymore. So there are speed limits, and the speed limits differ depending on the road you are traveling. So while you are driving here, the speed with which you are driving here may be 20 kilometers per hour because it's a residential street. Am I correct? When you get to the highway, if you drive 20 kilometers per hour, you may cause accident there because you're driving too slow on the highway. I see the difference now. So the road will require that you move faster because it's a highway. When you now come to a street that is by residences, you need to now drive slower. So good speed is what is more critical, not fast movements. And for speed to be good, it may be very fast. It may also be very slow. Because if you drive very slow on a highway, you can cause as much damage as driving very, very fast on the residential streets. So before you determine your speed, you must first determine your path. Once you know the road you are traveling, when you are doing business, there are parts of business that you must move fast. You must think fast. You must take action, move quickly. There's no time to waste. But there are other parts of business that you might spend 6 years just trying to decide the first move, the last move, the next move. 6 years. You are just trying to decide because of the path you are on in the business at the time. It could be marriage. You may spend 3 years trying to figure out something up. What do I need to do next? But there are other points in marriage that you can't wait 3 days. You must decide when. Now. So, speed is not fast. And speed must be engineered by the path upon which you are traveling. And you must understand that path if you understand progress. Because progress will educate you, or will teach you, or will equip you with the knowledge of understanding directions. And those directions will move you into many paths and many routes. But you must understand the construct and the dynamics that makes for healthy movements on the path that you are on. So I think that with our time, we'll stop here. So see you on the next and the last episode on this series. God bless you.